For those that know who I am, what do I start with when I introduce myself? What do I start with when I introduce myself? I am your overall, anybody remember? Dope. Yes, yes, cheerleader, that works too. Yes, I say my first and last name and I say that I'm your overall dope hype woman. What do I mean by that? For those that hung out with me before, what do I mean by that? What do you recall me saying? What do I mean by that? Anybody remember? Anybody? Are they typing? Are they typing? It, yes. I am here to motivate you, to inspire you, to uplift you. I want you to know that whatever you are looking to do, you will be able to do, especially when you lean in, ask questions, and when you talk with the staff within career services and your academic advisors. They are all here. We are all here to support you in your journey. I believe in you. I don't need to see you. I don't need to meet you. I would love to meet you, right? But I believe that you have so much within you to be successful. And so I want to make sure that you get that from our time together. Okay. I'm the owner of a few businesses, Holistically Divine Counseling, it's a private practice. I am a licensed clinical professional counselor. Something that I didn't share with others is that I did two things during my internship or during my master's career. I actually built my career around mental health counseling, but also career counseling. And so I am grateful to say that I have been in places where Tori has been, providing career services to be able to support students or alumni or adult learners. And so I believe in marrying those two. I believe that in our society, our identity is wrapped up in our career. And so it's important to understand that when our identity is wrapped in our career, our mental health is impacted as well. Okay. And so it's important for me to help all my clients, all my students, anyone that I'm working with to understand that there is a healthy balance between the two. I'm adjunct faculty at Benedictine University and National Louis University. And before I told you all the importance for me for movement, had some health issues that came and impacted me a few years ago. And so I have made a commitment to continue moving my body. I enjoy kettlebell as well as animal flow. For those that don't know about animal flow, check it out. It's really, really amazing. It's a pretty powerful connection between mind and body. So I want to know who's in the room. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. All right. This is wonderful. This is amazing. And I'm hoping that you all get what you're needing from this workshop or webinar. If not, come on back and hang out with me tomorrow, even Thursday. Okay. So, believing and assuming for right now that most of you all have an understanding of your values, most of you all have an understanding of your interests, for you all to be able to decide on your career. What we're going to be talking about as well as how to gain more information. So some of you all have what you've described as broad areas. In my last group, we talked about business, or noon session, we talked about business and how broad it is. But what we're going to be talking about is how to gather that information so you have a bigger understanding of what's out there. And that way you can choose, you can decide. We are no longer in an era where we are staying for 20, 30 years in your career field. Some are doing that, and that's quite all right. Some people are staying in their career field. Maybe they're in the business sector, consulting sector, finance sector, but they are looking to work up to what would be a partner where they have a share in that company, okay? But they are doing some heavy lifting work and they're staying at that company and they're growing. But most of the time, we shift career fields, we shift jobs, we shift interests. And so I want you all first and foremost to understand that you just want to begin somewhere. And you begin by volunteering. You begin by doing internships. You begin by conducting informational interviews. So we're going to spend some time here on informational interviews. All right, you all, what's something that if you hung out with us, what do you think the next slide would be? I told you that Tori and I really enjoy what? We really enjoy, if you remember the slides and how they're organized. Yes, come on, Zoe, let's go. Here's the quote. The reward for conformity is that everybody likes you except yourself. The reward for conformity is that everybody likes you except yourself. So you all know, come on, Kirsten said, wow. My next question was going to be, what stood out to you? Now, you all know I'm a clinician at heart. Words matter, especially the words that we use for ourselves. Okay, so reward. What else stood out to you when you read it, when you heard me say it? What else? Conformity. What else stood out? Drop it in the chat, you all. Drop it. Stay awake with me. Hang out with me. Accept yourself. The reward for conformity is that everybody likes you except yourself. Yes, 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 yes. Accept yourself. That reward, yes. Accepting yourself. Accomplishments, yes. Accept yourself. Accept and then accept. ACC. How many? You do not have to drop this in the chat. I want you to hold on to this question and I want you to think about it. How many have truly accepted ACCEPTED yourself? That is important. How many have, do not drop it in the chat, keep that for you, but that is important. Accepting who you are allows you to show up. And let me tell you, as an employer, I want to see you all showing up. It is not about saying the right things at all times. You're not going to do that. When you're in your interviews with employers, they're going to ask you questions, okay? You're not going to always have the right answer. They want to understand what your answer is and how you arrive to it. Because you think differently from your colleagues, from your classmates. You think differently, you operate differently. You have a different reason for your why. And so for you, it is so important for you to accept ACCEPT yourself, because that person who has accepted themselves is able to show up in an interview at their volunteer opportunity, right? Or at their internship to say, hey, I may not know this answer, but I'm willing to learn. Or I may not know how to do this, but I'm willing to learn. I am willing to learn more about this opportunity. Or here's what I can bring to you. Here are the skills that I have really crafted to bring to you. So I love this quote. It's so important. I hope it hits home for some of you all, and I hope you hold on to it to really think about your own level of self-reflection. Come, Kirsten, let's go. Put it on a bulletin board. I have one of those too. I have a motivational bulletin board. Those are deposits, okay? Because life oftentimes, it withdraws from you. So I love affirmations and I love quotes. Okay, so what are informational interviews, you all? What are informational interviews? Oh, question. Thank you, Anthony. What? Covering background and experience. Give info about a job. Okay, what else? I love it. Okay. To learn about a company. Yes, keep going. Better understanding about a company. Yes. And I would even add, it is absolute. There we go. It's in the name, informational. Let's go. Let's go. Informational interviews. It is an opportunity to, yes, what you all have said, learn about a company, learn about the industry, the background, learning about a job. I see that. Lynette says, learning about a job to see if it will fit. How about learning about the person within that job? Maybe you want to be the director of career services, but the only person that you know of is Tori Nair. And you want to know a little bit more about Tori Nair. How did she get this job? How is it that she has a background in counseling? She has a Master of Science in clinical psychology. How did she go from here to director of career services? I want to know more about her and then this role. The informational interview is an opportunity to learn from a human being, a real life human being that's going to talk back at you or with you to tell you what goes on in their field, to tell you about the day-to-day experiences. How does that sound, you all? Does that sound like wonderful information for you to hear? Drop a 1 in the chat. Would you want to know about someone's day-to-day, their experiences? What clients or what software do they work with? What are some of the challenges that are happening in that field or at that company? Yes, other things that you all said, learning about the company. What companies what companies stand out? Drop some companies that you're like, I would love working for that company. Drop them in the chat. What names? Name drop. CrowdStrike, Argonne National Lab. I think AU has connections there. I'm from what I could remember. Northwestern Mutual, absolutely. DCFS, IBM. I saw a couple of DCFS. National Geographic, Children's Advocacy Center, Marshall. Yes. So you all already have an idea of the companies you would want to work for. Wouldn't it be amazing if, say, the staff at Career Services had connections with those companies, with those individuals, and you can actually reach out to them and talk to them? Who would take advantage of it? Drop your hand in the chat, or yes, raise your hand. Me, I would too. Because why not? Why wouldn't you? Now I know that I would. I love it. Why wouldn't you want to hear from those individuals that actually are working where you want to work? It is a beautiful opportunity. And let me tell you all something. I'm going to tell you a secret. It's really not a secret, but I'm going to just. Employers love to talk about themselves. Human beings enjoy talking about themselves. And so what I want you all to remember is the informational interview is free. It is free knowledge. It is an opportunity for you to gain. Now, I would say it requires time. Okay, it does require time. But when you identify organizations that you want to conduct an informational interview, so this is a tip number one, identify those organizations. A lot of you all put it in the chat, but using that worksheet, and you know what? I didn't even drop the worksheet in the chat at the beginning. Did I drop the worksheet? No, Tori's going to drop the worksheet in there for you all to take notes. I got so excited to see so many people that came from the other webinar. In that worksheet, I want you all to write down those companies that you want to conduct your informational interview with. And then once you list those companies, you're going to connect on your LinkedIn account. You're going to research to see who's out there. And then before you connect with them, you want to connect with Career Service. You want to connect with Tori and other staff members there to help you figure out who is the actual real life individual that you can talk with. Okay. What if you know? Oh, I love that question. Kylie, we're going to go to that question. Hold on to it. We're going to go back to that question. When you have identified those companies, you're going to connect with Tori and say, here's what I'm interested in. I want to connect with individuals, so that you are able to do that so someone else can essentially vouch for you. So Tori will be able to say, we have a connection with Argonne, we have a connection with Enterprise, we have all these connections. Let's begin preparing that email to reach out to them first. Okay, we do not want to just go ahead and reach out to them. We want it to be a bit strategic, so they understand that you're coming from a place of really wanting to gather information. Now, your question, what if you don't know yet? I love this question because when you think about, so everybody do this activity with me. I want you to close your eyes for a moment, as long as you're safe, sitting at home, comfortable. Please don't be operating heavy machinery. All right, I'm going to trust you. I can't see you, but take a moment and close your eyes. Do some deep breathing. Kylie, this is for you as well. I hope you can take a moment. Think about the type of space you would want to be in. That could be a physical space. Okay. You might be able to think of actual things in your room. Some of you all want, or in your office, some of you all want to remotely. Some of you all want to be in person. Some of you all do not want to be in an office. Some of you all want to have more of a meta or Google style office, where it's these officicles or cubicles, right? With no hard walls. Or some of you all want to work on a couch. Some of you all want to work out in nature. So what am I asking you all to do? I'm asking you all to visualize, if you can, what type of spaces would give you energy? What would create passion within you that you can actually show up every day, Monday through Friday, possibly depending on your job. As a clinician, my job looks a bit different at times. I am often sitting unless I'm connected with my clients and they allow me to essentially stand up during session. But most of my clients are virtual. Standing up just means for me to stretch. But it's me and my client virtually. Okay? That's okay because I'm working with people. But if you put me in a corner with just the computer without me talking to anyone or they're not talking to me back, I will begin talking. I will begin talking and I'm praying that someone will respond. Okay? You cannot put me in a corner to talk to myself. All right? But think about and then think about, okay, what type of industry is that? What type of industry would allow me to be outside in nature? What type of industry would allow me to work with people to inspire and motivate? So Kylie, it's not that you have to know exactly, but it's allowing you to really begin exploring. Now, of course, if you have the job, Kylie, do we have not the company, not the job, but do we have the major? What's your major? What's your major? And as Kylie's responding, dietetics. Oh my goodness, dietetics. So we get to figure out, do you want to work in a hospital? Do you want to work in a nonprofit? Kylie, do you have a language outside of English where you can help those individuals that maybe do not have information on dietetics? Do you want to work at a company, organization like Argonne National Lab, or do you want to work with an accounting firm or a consulting firm, a corporation that has a wellness component to their organization? And they are wanting to bring in a specialist in dietetics to be able to talk to their staff members. There are so many different options. It's for you just kind of figuring out what role, what job, what company would you wake up every day in the morning to say, I'm pretty excited to go into this, whatever, this corporation, this nonprofit. You could do one-on-one work. There's so many options. Kylie, does that help at all a little bit? Even if you said a little bit, if not, we can keep going. But also, Tori is here to support you, to help you with, I just realized yes, Kirsten, I want to work in a faith-based organization. You just realized that I hope that was just now and that's an aha moment. If not, that's okay. But that's beautiful. That is so important. And so understanding the faith-based organizations that are out there. Yes, I just need to work on the connections for shadowing. And so what you want to do then, for those that just have that light bulb moment, or for those that things are starting to turn in your mind and all these ideas are coming up, write those down. Sit down and write them down. The informational interview is an opportunity for you to say, okay, I have an idea. All right, I know I want to work with faith-based organizations. All right, so let me just begin talking with people who work in faith-based organizations. Let me just start there. Maybe it's a faith-based organization that is helping with refugees. I'm going to start there. There is so much out there, you all, which can feel very overwhelming. But first, it is that conversation with yourself, and then sitting down to schedule that information interview or working with that individual. I have had AU students that I've reached out from an opportunity that I was offered with you all last summer. And we talked about what it means to be a clinician. The informational interview is you emailing that person saying, I'm so interested, Tori, in understanding what it means for you to be the director of career services, for me to learn a little bit more. And you are doing it either via Zoom. If you feel comfortable doing it face-to-face, you can do it face-to-face. You can do it on the phone, okay? I think face-to-face or via Zoom, it helps you to really get connected with the individual, but life happens and sometimes we have to do it over the phone. But then you are connected with that individual and you get to ask them questions. Career Services has a list of questions for you all to ask, but some of the questions could be, Tori, tell me, how did you know that you were interested in career services? And Tori's going to respond. Then you might ask, well, how did you get your undergrad? Then you went to your grad program and then led you into career service. What happened in between? What were some of your internship or volunteer opportunities? Tori, I want to ask you, who did you do your informational interview with?
Trying to not mute you this time, Sherry. So interesting. So informational interviews are like near and dear to me, because that is literally how I figured out what I wanted to do. I was a psychology major, didn't know what I wanted to do, was about to graduate, still didn't know what I wanted to do. And that was a little stressful. But I knew I liked working with people. I knew I liked, helping people. I knew I wanted to kind of be in some setting where I was like, if I were to have closed my eyes and thought about it, I knew I wanted to be with people. I didn't want to be by myself in a corner like Sherry was talking about. I wouldn't be okay there. And so I met with, for a class, we had to do an informational interview, and I met with the director of career services at North Central, where I was a student, and that person ended up becoming a mentor to me. So I asked all the same questions that Sherry was talking about. What got you started? How did you do this? And he was also, his background was in counseling, and what kinds of things should I do? I had never considered graduate school because I was the first in my family to even finish undergrad. So that was a whole nother thing. And so just being able to learn all of that. And then he gave me suggestions of things that I could do now as a student. Oh, this is the things that you could be doing. You can volunteer here, see if you really like it, do these things. And then, if you're interested, you can come back and shadow me in my job, my day-to-day. And so I took advantage of volunteering in the field. I shadowed him. And then eventually, he was like my mentor. And it made me realize that as much as I love the clinical side of counseling, I love working with students, with you all, even more. And so that's what got me into the field. And I highly, highly recommend it. And I mentioned to Kylie, yeah, we're here for you. We can connect you to people. We have people that we can connect you to. And those Sundays at 7 that we do every Sunday with alums is another way to do an informational interview, but kind of just be passive and listen. Maybe you'll submit questions ahead of time, but you'll get to listen. And it's a little less scary if this is your first ever one. And then you can kind of follow up with doing one-on-one yourself.
That is, I relate to a lot of what you just said. Yes, Danielle, that's beautiful. No one expects anyone to have all the answers of exactly what you all want to do. No, if you do, wonderful. If you don't, wonderful. There's support and resources out there to help you. So please understand, Tori, we are here for you is truly, truly, truly what it is. They're there for you. They're there for you. We are here for you. I also want to drop a name. It's okay. She's gonna be fine for me dropping a name, but she's an alum of AU. Her name is Shalane McMillan. It used to be Shalane Smith. She received her master's from AU, Masters of Social Work. So if you all, those that are wanting to go in social work, she used to be even teaching at a like a daycare out in Aurora. But if you all want to connect with her, her name is Shalane McMillan, and she is an alum of Aurora University, but she completed her Master's of Social Work. And she, I believe, I believe it's a homeless shelter in the Aurora area. Does anybody know where it is? What is the name of it? Any students? There's a homeless shelter. They're doing great work in Aurora. Who knows? Anybody know? I will know it. Hesed, is it Hesed House? I think it is Hesed House. That's it. That's beautiful. She did one of her internships there. How do you spell her name? Yes, SHALAYNE. I'll say it again. SHALAYE. That's it. E. McMillan. Yes. I'll type that in the chat as well. So she is an alum, and her experience in the MSW program, was phenomenal. Her experience at Hesed House was phenomenal. It was eye-opening for her, but it was phenomenal. But she now is a therapist at a private practice. So if you all want to conduct the information with you, you are able to reach out to her. But the biggest and most important piece is, do you see that we have resources? Do you see that we're able to connect folks with you all? And And I really want to also just say this, because this journey is overwhelming. We want to make sure that you know that you do not have to do this alone. It starts with a conversation, you all, so that we have more aha moments, so that we're able to support you on this journey. We said it in our last webinar, your services here are forever, okay? Your career services here are forever. So know that we're here to support you. So what I want you all to do, write this down, write this down, write this down. You're going to continue updating your LinkedIn profile. For those that do not have one, you're going to create one. You're going to continue following folks and networking and reading and observing what's going on in your field of interest, even if you're interested in several fields. And then you're going to conduct an informational interview, at least one. So I'm asking you all, by the end of March, end of quarter one, by the end of March, that you either have lined up an informational interview, met with someone within the, to conduct an informational interview, or you've at least met with career services to begin conducting informational interviews. Drop a 1 in the chat if you're going to at least try any of those things. Drop a 1 in the chat. Thank you. You either have already found the person and going to be meeting with them. You're going to either meet with career services to prepare you, or you have already met with someone. By March, please, this will only help you, I guarantee, and you will get more knowledge than you can ever imagine. As I said, people enjoy talking. And what's really amazing is if you have someone that is truly an open book, they're going to help you, and they're going to say things like, well, here, I would recommend doing this because you'll get this type of experience, or maybe I'll recommend you doing this because I actually did this myself and it was an amazing opportunity. So please take advantage of it. Now, remember, the informational interview is not a job offer. Can a job offer or an internship offer come out of it? Possibly. You never know. But please know that it is an opportunity to gain more information, okay, about your field, your interests, and then just day-to-day experience. So I can tell you now, if you do an informational interview with me, I'm going to tell you notes, therapy notes, like conducting your notes. You have to do it. You have to do it within 24 to 48 hours. And they stink. Okay. They're not fun. They're mundane. They're frustrating, but you have to do it. Right. That's something that I would share with someone about one thing about the counseling field. Okay. All right. Okay. Yes. You know what? Can we talk about that? Can I tag team Tori Nair in to jump on that? Can we do it? We got time. We have time.
Yeah, so Alejandra, that's a great question. So whether you can do an internship in a different field than your current major. So yes, you can do internships in any field and try different things out. So yes, for academic credit, if you're going to do it for credit at the university, typically it'll be for your major or minor or towards your program. But if you're going to do it for the experience, and every internship does not need to be for credit. Now, there are certain graduation requirements for some of you that you need it, like social work, marketing, those kinds of majors. But for a lot of you, even to say you're a social work major, but you're like, I also want to try out accounting. You can do that. You can do an internship in another field and try it out. The worst that happens is you do it in the other field and you find out you really love it, and now you might have to switch your major and figure that out, and that's okay. Or you realize you don't like it, or maybe you like certain aspects of it, right? As Sherry was talking about, sometimes we like the environment, but not necessarily the exact job, right? You might go, oh, I love this organization. They're outstanding, but I would never want to do this for them. And that's okay. That's okay. And you don't know until you try, right? I worked, in higher education setting, but also in a clinical counseling setting, and I loved both. I just loved this one more, right? So again, that might help you too, where you realize you like both things, but you find a way to kind of meld the two. So yes, you can definitely do that, and we can help you kind of talk about how to do that and when to do that and how to plan that out. But I highly recommend doing at least one internship and we'll talk about internships, I know, in a minute, but I highly recommend doing at least one, if not more, by the time you graduate, because they are beneficial. And honestly, I've seen so many students who either have landed a job because of their internship, have realized what they don't want to do because of their internship, or somewhere in between. And all of those things are valuable lessons, right? Yes, we all want to graduate and have a job lined up. That would be the ideal, right? But you might do your internship and realize you don't like it. And now you know that, and you are avoiding wasting your time when you have a full-time job, sitting at that job that you don't like. You know, an internship is only a semester long. So if you don't like it, you stick it out for those 16 weeks and then you're done. But if you're at a job and you don't like it, you're not going to leave after 16 weeks. I mean, I guess you could, but you shouldn't. And so, you know, it gives you a time to try it out and use it as a way to learn about yourself, about the industry, and network. And the worst thing that can happen, like I said, is that you find out you don't like it, and now you know, and it's never a waste of time.
Never, 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 never. And I appreciate you saying that. And that leads us to internship. I do want to say, I didn't say this, you all. Please scan the QR codes and just keep them up on your phone or tablet. There are various links. So this one is for a video of what informational interviews are. So just outside of even the content on the screen. So these are QR codes for you to scan. Keep them up. Again, thinking about adding to your toolbox, to your career toolbox. So Tori just talked about internships. Okay, some of you have done an internship. You will learn what you like, what you don't like, what challenged you. You will learn how to create or establish connections and networks. You will learn so much about yourself. So I'm so happy that Tori said at least one. I'm gonna add to that, absolutely, at least one. If you can do something else, if you know you're gonna be here for one full year, so this semester and the next semester, try to get in another one. Or if you can't, try to do a volunteer opportunity or an experience that helps you to stay in your field or a field that you're interested in. This is the opportunity to explore. And let me tell you, employers want to see that you've explored. Now, I also want to add that some of you all are working a full-time job and going to school full time. So if this is allowed, Tori, is this allowed where they get to turn a portion of their full-time job into an internship experience? Is that something that's allowed? If it's outside of the work that they're doing. Yes. I don't want to speak out of turn.
Yeah, so we have had now, I know there's some stipulations with certain majors, but for most majors, if you are working a full-time job somewhere and you are willing to kind of do something different than what your day-to-day is at that job, a lot of times we are able to allow students to do that. So we've had students who worked as like at a car dealership, right? Just kind of helping clean cars and drive, that, but then they were able to work in the marketing department with the marketing people. And so even though they already worked there, they weren't doing what they normally do for their job. They were taking on additional responsibilities. And so that's an example of a way to do that. And Menards is another company that does that. People will work retail Menards, but they also have their corporate internships. So there's a lot of opportunities to do that beyond just finding a new one. Now, obviously, if you can find a new one, that's great to get a different experience. But like Sherry said, not all of us have that ability. So so you can definitely talk to one of us to see if it would work for your job to become an internship.
And you all, career service will support you and advocate with you. Your internship is meaningful, practical, hands-on experience. It is not only, hear me when I say only, it is not only filing things away. It is not only stapling. It is not only, hear me when I say that, it is not only sending emails. You all should be doing work. Now, not overdoing work. Okay, you're not taking over someone else's job. Okay, I have interns at my private practice, and we do work together. But whatever I'm doing, if whatever I'm asking them to do, I'm doing as well, and I'm not asking them to do more than what I would do. So please hear me when I say that. Hear Tori when she says that you're not being used or abused in an internship spot or place. And if that happens, reach out to Tori, reach out to the staff to let them know something's not right here. Also, it's an opportunity for you to understand cultural awareness. So I have a really close friend that understood right away how she would be perceived in the field from her first internship experience. And we really worked together to figure out how to actually get her out of that opportunity because it was toxic and unhealthy for her. Okay. So please know that this is an opportunity to learn more. You learn about yourself, you learn about the field, you learn about day to day, you learn about other professionals. You also learn about the company and how they impact your world or the society around you. What networks do they have? What companies do they have? So it is so important to engage in internship experience. They can be fun, of course, they are challenging. It is something to juggle or to handle when you're working full time, but if you can, it's important. And as an employer, we want to see that. We want to see that you have had experience in a field where you're having to be professional that's different from academics. Okay. That is a different world when you're going into work versus when you're going to school. Okay. All right. So we know that some people have done internships. We know that some people are looking for internships. We talked about in our other webinar that you can find these opportunities in utilizing LinkedIn. Yes, you can find internship opportunities utilizing LinkedIn. You can also find them using Handshake. Okay, so all of you all have an account. All of you all, you want to access it. You want to check it. Okay, maybe I would say once a month, but I know y'all busy. I know y'all busy. That's okay. But at least once a quarter, at least once a semester, so you see what's out there because they're posting internship opportunities. Okay. Oh, where the what? Let's do seesaw, Tori. I'm gonna say one, you say one. I'm gonna say one, you say one. I call LinkedIn. Go.
Handshake, LinkedIn. Oh, I'm not following the seesaw rule.
That's okay. Keep going.
I was gonna say, really, there's so many sites to look for internships. Internships.com is another one, which is now called Chegg Internships. There's ones like Indeed is another site that's a good sort of general job search board that can kind of give you, I call it the Google of job search engines because you kind of brings you everywhere. But then if there's certain places you know you want to work, just go to their website. A lot of companies will post first on their website. So they will look internally for people, whether it's for an internship or a job, and then they will post to their website because it's free. Then they might come to Handshake to Career Services because it's free, and then they'll go from there because to post on LinkedIn they have to pay, to post on some of these other sites they have to pay. So in social work, there's sites, we have a whole list on our sites on a Moodle site, but we have, there's npo.net, socialservice.org. I mean, there's all these different sites. So what I would recommend is start with Handshake and LinkedIn and Indeed and internships.com because those are the sort of broader ones, but then start thinking about where you want to be and feel free to reach out to us in Career Services. We may have a contact there or know of something. The other thing that I would say to do is you can create your own internship.
Come on.
Yeah. So a lot of times students will say, I really want to work for, I don't know, whatever company, and they don't have an internship posted, but I really want to work for them. Reach out and we can help you reach out to them via email or whatever it is to kind of draft a nice letter to them that says, this is my background, this is who I am. Would you be willing to bring me on as an intern? And we've had a lot of students create internships that way. So like the big companies, the Googles, those companies have their set internship programs, but many companies don't but are willing to host interns. And I know somebody asked about paid internships. A lot of them are paid. So again, I would say it never hurts to ask, right? The answer is always no if you don't ask. If you do ask, then you have at least a chance. So just, talk with us, reach out to a person if you know somebody at an organization that you want to work for. It never hurts. I've had people, they realize that their uncle works at a company that they want to work for, and so they reach out to them. That's great. So think about neighbors, people that you didn't always think about. That networking piece is huge, and it doesn't mean you have to know somebody exactly in your field, or we're talking about that with informational interviews, but it's more about just that you are talking to the people even because a lot of times they may know somebody, their coworker's sister works here or whatever, and they can help you connect you to opportunities. So all those websites, and then that networking piece is huge.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. So someone talked about meeting with you, Tori. I'm confused on what the expectations are for internships in terms of if there's certain information that needs to be signed off on. Oh, okay. And so that's academics. Okay. Okay.
So, yep.
Yeah.
And so just to touch on that real quick, for academic
Mhm.
internships, there's a certain process that you have to follow. So all the same things we're talking about right now are all the same things you can do. So you can create an internship, you can find one online, however you want to do it. Once you
Mhm.
land that internship, then you'll reach out to us or internships at aurora.edu, and you'll say, I found this internship, I'm so excited to start. And then we'll send you the paperwork. It's very simple paperwork that basically just says they're willing to work with you and us, and you are willing to work with them. We get it all figured out. So it's very simple. So really, I would say the hardest, and it's not really that hard, but it takes some work, is finding the internship. Once you find the internship, then it's pretty easy from there, just kind of filling out the forms. And so we're here to support you through the hard part, and make sure that you have those connections and can help find those internships. But don't be afraid for any of the parts in the process, whether it's I'm just starting and I have no idea what I'm looking for, to I now have an internship and I just don't know what to do next. We can help through that whole process.
Mhm. And you know, another site that I just thought of, I've used volunteermatch.gov.org to look for volunteer opportunities, but also some employers, especially nonprofits, they're posting their internships there. And so that might be an opportunity for you to look as well. Let's also talk about this safety. So please, if they Google the companies, you all Google the companies. You want to make sure these are legit companies. The reality is there are individuals and things that are out there that are trying to gather your information or say that you have to pay for something. If an internship is asking you, or if an employer is saying that you need to pay for something, run, report, and then run. Do not do it's not real. Okay. And so you want to make sure that as you're researching, and that's not to scare you, but just like anything else, you want to make sure that you're finding meaningful opportunities. You want to make sure that you're finding organizations, because it takes up your time. And so take those organizations to career services. Hey, I've been reached out to by this organization, or I found this organization, is it legit? I still do that now, you all, with my business. When folks reach out to me, I ask my husband and I ask my whole team, is this legit? If they say no, it's no. If one of them says no, it's no. Okay. That's just important. And that's something that's not going to ever go away. So please make sure that you are researching organizations. The other thing is, when I'm working with my master's students, Google nonprofit organizations that work with children. You'll get a full in a zip code, right? In Chicagoland area, Aurora, wherever you live, you'll get a list of organizations where you're able to go to their website. When you're looking for these internship opportunities, look at their mission and vision, read their mission and vision. Does it align with your own mission and vision? Can you see yourself working for this organization, or interning with this organization, or volunteering at this organization? If yes, let's make sure you get connected to do an informational interview. And then once you send them that thank you note, staying in contact with them. You've already likely expressed that you're interested in X field, whatever field that is. Continue that network. Okay. When you're ready to ask for that internship, that call to action, you can follow up with them. I'm ready now. I've been connected with you. I wanted to know, is an opportunity for me to intern with you all. I've kept up with you all. You're an amazing organization. Here's what you're doing in the field. All of the wonderful things. The informational interview is not asking them for an internship, but as you continue networking with them and building a relationship with them, the goal is eventually that you might be able to ask, or maybe not. Maybe that's not an organization that you would want to work for. But knowledge is, of course, power. The more knowledge you have, the more information you have, the better you're able to discern, right? The better confident, or the more confident you are, to be able to participate in internship opportunities. These are some amazing questions, you all. I love it. So the next slide. Yes, go ahead. Sorry. Yes.
Sorry, don't mind me just interrupting
No,
you.
no,
But
no.
Danielle
Oh,
asked a really good question. Is it ever too
oh,
late to do an internship? No.
no.
So even if you're close to graduating, so obviously if you wanted to do one for this semester, for the summer, We've had plenty of students who've done internships after graduation. They're called postgraduate internships. And a lot of places are willing to take on recent graduates for internships. So they might be a summer internship or maybe even a year-long internship that allows you to rotate through different departments. Yes, don't worry. It's never too late.
Never.
You can always do internships. Again, it's just your consideration. Some of them, like I know some of you were mentioning social work doesn't always pay for your interns. And so sometimes you have to consider that, do I need to be making money and things like that? But no, you can definitely do an internship post-graduation or even close to graduation. And that is 100% okay. Now, whether you're doing it for academic credit is a whole nother, thing, but I wouldn't worry about that. I would worry about getting the opportunity first, and then we can talk and discuss about the next kind of steps. But yeah, if it's a postgraduate, do they still receive their diploma? Yes, if they're not doing it for graduation requirements. If you're doing an internship for a graduation requirement, it does need to be within your time when you were a student. But if you're doing it after graduation, it's just for the experience. And it still can go on a resume. It still can be talked about in an interview. Like there's nothing different about an academic internship versus a non-academic internship. The only difference is that whether it's required for your major or not. So good questions. The other thing I wanted to just touch on, I know a couple people asked about what if I don't have experience in the field that they're looking for, but I want to do an internship in that. This is what the things that Sherry's talking about right now, about the informational interviews, the volunteering, LinkedIn, all those things. That's how you get there. Because a lot of times if you just apply on the website, they still might reach out to you and say you have good experiences and skills, but they're less likely to if they don't know who you are. But if you've now volunteered at the organization or did an informational interview with somebody there or connected with them on LinkedIn and have been kind of emailing back and forth, they're going to be more willing to take somebody who doesn't have the background in that field, just to, because they know you and they know what your values are, who you are as a person, and they can bring you on. So don't feel like you have to avoid going a totally different direction, but I would say start with some of the things we're talking about now. So that will set you, just like Sherry said, that will set you up. You're not right away asking for an internship, but you're kind of building that network and just learning a little bit more so that they're getting to know you and you get to know them before you go and do that call to action.
Mm-hmm. We got another one. We got take it away. Take it away.
Okay. So Zoe, good question. So how do we know if it's required for your major? So it will be listed on, if you go onto self-service, it will be listed there, whether it's required for your major. You'll see it under, it's usually the course, like whatever your major is. So business 4940 or 3940 is always the number. And you'll see it'll say internship. For some majors like business, it's an option, but not required. So you can do that or a course. For some majors like social work, it's required. And so you'll see it on your on self-service on your kind of progress report. Ask your academic advisor if you're not sure. Talk to us in career services if you're not sure. We can tell you whether it's required or not. I will tell you that social work, for sure it's required based on accreditation things. And most of the business majors outside of business administration, it is required. But there's other majors like psychology doesn't require it, but you can do it. Criminal justice is another one where you can do it. So if you're not sure, just ask either your advisor or us, or look on your self-service and you'll be able to see.
Something that also I want to share with you all is even look into rotational programs. So some organizations have a rotational program where you start the first year. So maybe they might bring you on in the summer of your sophomore year. And so you'll start with maybe shadowing someone for that entire summer and doing, work. Maybe it's an accounting firm or maybe it's an auditing firm. So you might not be working directly with the clients in the field, as they call it, but you're understanding the day-to-day operations of that organization. But then your junior year, summer of your junior year, they might now have you work with clients. Look into those rotational programs. There are opportunities there. Sometimes they have them at banks. Sometimes they have them at accounting firms, auditing firms. I know EY, Ernst & Young, has a rotational program. RSM is starting, this summer will be their second annual internship program. They're providing a stipend for folks to come to their week-long training or conference And then they're offering an internship program once you're in that. So they want to keep you on. That's something that's new, that's changing within the career world, is employers are wanting to figure out how to grab students and keep them there. If you're looking into nonprofits, some nonprofits will have a rotational program, but also it might be great to pitch that to them. Maybe you are a business major, but you like psychology and you like communication. You like marketing. So now you're utilizing your psychology degree to connect with people, but now you're utilizing your interest in marketing, right? There's psychology in marketing in their marketing area. So really thinking about rotational programs. That's an option too. Now it's still an internship, but the idea is you get to rotate within, if you want to think of it as different departments within that organization. All right, you all. LinkedIn, my workshop at 6:30 talked a little bit more deeply about LinkedIn, so we're not going to jump in it here, but please know you need a LinkedIn profile. And when I say you need a LinkedIn profile, I mean, like, it would be really great, amazing, important if you would get one. We can't force you to get one, but just know that employers are on LinkedIn and utilizing LinkedIn. The QR codes, again, please scan them. For those that have hung out with me, they're the same worksheets. For those that this is the first time, please scan them, keep those for your toolbox, your resource, and write in them, add in them. It's an opportunity for you to reflect on your strengths. SWOT is strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. You as an individual showing up, you as an intern, when you're thinking about interning with an organization. But then the next one, career journey success, it's an opportunity to reflect on your values, your interests, right? Pulling it all together and understanding how you want to show up within the work that you want to do. It also offers you an opportunity to do short-term, long-term goals. Hey, you all, one of your short-term goals is to create a LinkedIn profile. One of your short-term goals is to schedule a meeting with career services. One of your short-term goals are to do an informational interview. Long-term goals. One of my long-term goals, you all, because this worksheet is actually something that I use for myself. I just created it more so in a triangle shape, was to own my own private practice, right? That was a long-term goal. I'm here now. Now we pivot. Now we add to our goals. And so you want to make sure that you're writing them down to keep them somewhere so that you're checking in with yourself. But it's a way to motivate you. It's to inspire you. It's to also help you understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. Okay. Identifying your why. That's very, very, very important. It is going to help you and motivate you when times are hard, especially when you might be the first in your family to be going to school. You might be the first in your family to even be getting this career or job that you're interested in. So sometimes it can feel lonely, but Career Services is here to support you in your journey. You do not have to do it alone. I don't know how many times I have to say that. I'll say it until I'm blue in the face, but you don't have to do it alone. I love motivation. For you all that have been with me, check out the video. It is an opportunity for you to be inspired. YouTube videos, it's a deposit for me. It's something that I listen to. And then on your worksheet, there are quotes there. Add your own quotes. Add your books. What books are you reading? What social media platforms are you following? That's so important. I have a goal to read one book a month. And I started with E.T., the Hip Hop Preacher, UOU. Okay. You all, it has been a pleasure to be with you all. Please make sure to reach out to Career Services. I'm grateful for you all being here tonight. Let us know if you have questions, how we can support you. You all have a great night. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sherry.
Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you, Tori.
Thank you all for coming. Yeah. Please let us know if you have questions. Like I said, feel free. You saw me in the chat. Just email career@aurora.edu or email me at tnair@aurora.edu and we can get you set up with an informational interview. We can talk to you about your career goals, anything you need from start to finish. We're here to help you. So let us know and we can help.